We've enjoyed our share of big engined cars, but with the rising fuel prices, owning one seems like a bitter pill to swallow, and so considering fuel efficient options makes for a very sensible choice.
The Levante moniker is an extremely important product for Maserati, mainly because it is their entry point into the SUV segment and also because it is the most affordable offering in the company's lineup. Why is it here in India? Because the company recently upgraded it and has given 4 variants. With us is the entry-level GT Hybrid, the second car from a company that offers a hybrid car. And this is important because it bridges the ICE cars and the electrification program that the company has planned, which goes on floor by 2025. We have the car with us today and we will tell you everything there is to know about the Maserati Levante GT Hybrid. But before we do that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever we go live with a new automotive video.
Let's start with the design of the car.
Compared to the standard version of the Levante, the GT Hybrid version gets this massive grille at front. There's also ample amount of chrome given on the slates, but I really like this trident emblem that you get at the center of the grille. Adds a very nice classy touch to it. You get the Maserati badge on the hood as well. Moving to the side, you get these chrome surrounds on the fog lamps as well as on the air vents on top of it. Gives a very nice premium look to the car. The headlamps also are nicely stacked, looks really good and looks extremely premium. On the fender you get the GT badging. It has a very nice artistic font given to it, but more importantly are these blue highlights that you get on the trio of the side air vents. That is basically denoting the hybridized heart of the car, and that's also important because this car is actually bridging the gap between the ICE vehicles and the future upcoming electric cars, especially the Grecale, which is the first electric car that the company will launch pretty soon. Moving to the side, you get this chrome belt line that adds to that entire SUV crossover silhouette that the company is going on with. And this is not exactly a proper SUV when you compare it with the Q7 or even the GLE. It has a different proportion. The dimensions are pretty much similar, but in terms of looks, it gives a very dynamic character to the car. On the C-pillar, you get the Maserati emblem again. A nice touch. It also gets the blue accents denoting the hybridized heart that we were talking about. Moving to the rear, you get the Levante and the Maserati badge as well. Again, a very nice touch with the font for both the badges. It's not the same. There's slight difference when you look at it. Apart from that, the rear is pretty much standard looking with the normal version of the Levante. But overall, while speaking about the design of the car, it has a different approach. It breaks the monotony. Maserati Levante GT Hybrid gives you a different take on what an SUV could look like.
The Levante GT Hybrid is like any modern car, fitted with high quality materials. The piano black trim and standard grain leather has a pleasant feel to it. The 8.4-inch screen is nice, but not the largest in the segment. Music from the 8-speaker Harman Kardon audio system sounds sublime. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay and even charging can be operated without a cable. The trademark egg-shaped clock sits proudly on the dash. A tad bit small, but a nice touch. Toggle switches for climate control feels outdated, but doesn't hurt to have. All the touch points have a nice soft touch. But we feel Maserati should have added some blue bits probably to the stitching to remind the hybridized heart. The car is decently spacious with average knee room, enough for 4 people, as the transmission tunnel hump restricts the space even further. Boot space is a decent 580 liters. Still, one of the nicest cabins in the segment. But the piece de resistance for the Levante is its hybrid heart. producing 325 brake horsepower and 450 Newton meters of peak torque from its 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine and an 8-speed automatic transmission. The SUV can sprint from 0 to 100 kmph in flat 6 seconds. Top speed is limited to 240 km per hour. The 48-volt mild hybrid system helps to add that extra power and conserve fuel, of course. Regeneration helps to carry it even further. And if you want some grunt, then the e-booster compressor is there to help you out. But how is it to drive?
Let me start off by saying that the Levante GT Hybrid does not make the same sound, the same exhaust sound that you would find in a V6 or even a V8, considering this is a hybrid version. But it hits the absolute spot if you're looking for a car that is dynamic and comfortable. Because in this range, in the Levante range that you find in India, this is probably the most comfortable car that you can find, which is sporty enough to give you that thrilling experience, yet is comfortable enough for your family. It also distributes weight equally and it balances out extremely nicely because you get the battery pack at the rear axle, but if you're going into the corner, your front also evens out quite nicely, and the weight that you get from the battery pack at the rear does not shy away from tailing out if you chuck it slightly harder.
Even the ride quality is commendable. Despite the road conditions of our country, the car does its job quite effortlessly.
Now, Maserati has sorted out the chassis and the suspension setup on the Levante GT Hybrid because it is quite planted. It is able to iron out bumps, potholes quite comfortably and does not give a jerky feeling even when you're on high speeds, even on the highway especially. City, it is quite comfortable to take on whatever is thrown on its way. So you also get different kind of driving modes. There's normal mode, there's sport mode, which basically adjusts the suspension in whatever kind of drive that you are having. If you want a sporty one or are on the highway, then you can just probably put it on the sport mode. It will lower the suspension and it will be planted. So the ride is going to be extremely comfortable as it is going to be in the normal mode. There's also a nice mode that you can see, which is essentially the mix of hybrid battery pack and the petrol engine. But do note that this is not a strong hybrid, this is a mild hybrid system, a 48-volt mild hybrid system. So what it does is most of the work, most of the powering of the wheels is done through the petrol engine, and it is the mild hybrid system that helps in the efficiency. So you get better efficiency, and it is probably the most efficient car in its range of Levante cars. There's no doubt that the Maserati Levante GT Hybrid is a beautiful piece of machine. It has got great ride and handling qualities that counts for more as a daily commuter. And although it might look like a mild facelift, there's a lot going on under the bonnet. And more importantly, this car is going to pave way for other Maserati products that will get electrified by the end of this decade. But all said and done, the Maserati Levante GT Hybrid is an excellent car to own and can be yours for 1.45 crores. What do you think of the Maserati Levante GT Hybrid? Do tell us in the comment section below, and if you've enjoyed this review, then please hit the like button and do share it.